Hello and welcome to the Watford Way. Today we are previewing West Ham United versus Watford. A massive game in terms of the relegation battle for Watford. We really need the 3 points, so hopefully we will get that on Tuesday. But I'm not on my own today. I'm joined by a number of guests, actually. Very lucky to have a few people on the channel today. So firstly, we are joined by our regular contributor, Callum. Callum, you had a long day out at college, but you're back home now. How are you doing? How's your day been?
Oh, it's been hectic to say the least. I think this morning, it was just craziness. Half an hour delay on the trains, while all trains were cancelled in Paddington. But yeah, I'm here now.
Oh
I'm
my
alive,
God.
so yeah, it's all good.
You're alive, you're here. That is what we like to see. And we're also joined by regular contributor out in the Netherlands, Brendan, who this week actually injured his finger, which is very sad to see. But hopefully, Brendan is on the road to recovery now. Brendan, do you want to give us an injury update as to what's happening with your finger and what actually caused the
Well,
injury?
yeah, cleaning a knife is not a good idea. So be careful with that. Just a bit of finger injury, but today back on the pitch, looks like some great saves. So yeah, I think I could be back for next Saturday. So playing next Saturday in the Sunday League
Are
on
you
Saturday.
available for West Ham tomorrow? You're fit and available, ready to play in goal, yeah?
Well, I think I will be benched this time, but yeah, I could be ready if Roy Hudson will give me time. I will be there.
Good to see. And lastly, last but not least, we are joined by Jake. I was just on his West Ham unofficial YouTube channel, so make sure you go and check that out. I'm sure Jake will tell you where to find that in just a second. But we are joined by Jake. We've got an opposition fan on today to discuss the game from a West Ham perspective. Jake, how are you? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, not bad. Looking forward to this because Watford surprised me, and I'm sure supporting the club surprises you regularly. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Good. And you are the guest, Jake, so we will start with you. From a West Ham perspective, looking at the last 5 games or so, how has your overall form been? Have you been playing well? Have you been playing bad? Obviously, you have just dropped out of the top floor 4, which you had occupied for quite a long period of time. So basically, my question to you is, how's it going? How's the form at the moment?
It's not great. I'm not gonna lie to you. We've had better moments in our season, and when we played you back in December, I thought it was a fantastic time to play us, and I think it again. Here, we're not in a fantastic run of form. The fan base aren't particularly positive at the moment. We didn't sign anybody in January, which is probably a surprise considering we are sat 5th in the league, and we did occupy 4th spot for quite a while, but now teams are starting to catch us up with their games in hand where we are slightly dropping down. But yeah, our form isn't fantastic at the moment. We scraped past Kidderminster last time out in the FA Cup whilst you were playing Burnley on the weekend. We played Man United at Old Trafford. United did what United do, beat us in the last minute. That was gutting. We definitely deserved a point out of that game. We lost to Leeds the week before. Frustrating, poor defensive performance. We beat Norwich and we beat Leeds in the FA Cup before that. It's been a mixed couple of months for West Ham, particularly since we lost Kurt Zouma in December. He's come back, but we're hearing he's got a slight niggle because he did look quite badly injured in the Kidderminster game, but he ended up carrying on. It's a mixed bag for West Ham at the moment, but I'd expect us to pick up the points tomorrow, but anything can happen. We did have a scare from Watford when we played you last time out with a goal from Emmanuel Dennis early on. Quite frankly, I don't know what's going to happen. West Ham are in a mixed run of form at the moment.
A mixed run of form. That sounds, very exciting to me from a Watford perspective. Callum, we'll come to you next. Obviously, there's been a few transfer dealings between Watford and West Ham in the past couple of years. Obviously, Craig Dawson going to West Ham, and he's been absolutely fantastic for them. And Jeremy Ngakia has come to us and done relatively well. Callum, do you think that Jeremy Ngakia will potentially start in this game at right back, or do you think that Kiko Femine will keep his place under Roy Hodgson?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, with the starting 11, I feel like Kiko Firmino, I feel like he has cemented his place as he started to right back for his past few games now. And I feel like with Ngaki, if he does start against his old club, it could be very interesting. You know, he's young, he's English, and it would, you know, make a statement within Roy Hodgson's squad and how he plays and how he develops his squad. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Kiko Firmino, he is a solid right back, but Firmino, like I said, you know, he's part of our youth, and he could give that experience against West Ham to hopefully play more games in the future. So, do I think he'll start against us? I think for Menya, I think he will still keep his place, but I won't be surprised if Ngaki does play against his old club.
Jake, coming back to you quickly before we go to Brendan, what have you made of Watford this season, and you know the way we've set up and the way we've played? Have you been impressed? Has it kind of been what you expected from this Watford side? Obviously, we are currently sitting 18th in the Premier League table. You know, did you expect a lot better, or is 18th, 17th about where Watford should be in your opinion?
Yeah, I didn't expect much more. I'm going to be honest. Watford are the kind of side that go up and go down. I like Watford. I like your stadium. It's a great away day, particularly because we always pick up 3 points at Vicarage Road. But I didn't particularly expect Watford to do what Brentford have done, let's say, and be pushing the top half of the table, you know, 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, those kind of positions. I did expect you to be in and around that relegation zone, but I've just got a funny feeling that once you get Ismaila Sarr back and you get Sarr down one side and Dennis down the other, or whatever formation you go with, I think you will have enough to stay up. But yeah, I didn't expect anything much more than what I've seen from Watford this season. Changing managers, which I expected, and it's just Watford, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we change managers literally every week, so that is to be expected. Brendan, I know you've been having a few internet issues. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, quite. Yeah, a bit. So I will keep it short. Just give me your question. And I have to leave. I have to fix the internet here because it's worse today. Sorry, guys.
Do not worry. So, Brendan, obviously you're out in the Netherlands. You don't get over to watch Watford very much. Going back to the Watford West Ham game at Vicarage Road earlier this season, Dennis scored a fantastic goal. But for me personally, Brendan, I thought West Ham largely dominated us that day. I think Watford really struggled to get control in midfield, and Declan Rice was suspended as well, so we didn't really even have Declan Rice to contend with. So looking back at that game, Brendan, where we played West Ham back in December, what are you expecting from this game? And it's obviously going to be a tough test, isn't it?
It will be a very tough game. As you said, at that time they miss Declan Rice baby. They miss him that time, so we thought, okay, we can pick up a point or maybe more against a side like West Ham that time needs Declan Rice at that time. But they did so well. They overplayed us. There was one mistake, and that was made by Cathcart, where Emmanuel Dennis scored. Lovely goal, of course. But I think West Ham is and what Jake says, in a bit shaky run of form. We have seen them struggling in the FA Cup. It was always lovely to see the magic of the cup, and Declan Rice stand up right there in the last minute, and right there in the last minute of extra time. So he is confident. I think the rest of West Ham get more confidence in the team, as we've got after first clean sheet after 217 days, something like that, against Liverpool the last time out was that we can a clean sheet. So there must be some confidence at both sides. And what I'm expecting for tomorrow is I hope a draw. It will be tough at the Olympic Stadium, as I think it will be a draw. And to be honest, we all miss Upton Park if we see the Olympic Stadium with the big gap between the fields, between the pitch and the stands. But yeah, let's go for 1-1. Declan Rice will score, and then Emmanuel Dennis will score. And sorry guys, I have to fix my internet, but yeah, hopefully you're okay with a 1-1 and go with it.
All good, Brendan. Go and fix your internet. Hopefully we'll have you We'll have you back on again soon. Appreciate it.
Sorry, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Brendan. Bye-bye. Jay, quickly talk about Upton Park, as Brendan mentioned it there. I am quite interested to see what you think about that move, because I don't often speak to West Ham fans, and it has been a while since you moved from Upton Park. If you had the option, would you go back? Because I thought it was such an intimidating ground to play at. You were so close to the pitch. You could hear everything everyone said, from a player's perspective. The fans were so close to the pitch. So if you had the option to go back in time, would you return to Upton Park?
Oh, 100%. If you spoke to 99.9% of West Ham fans, they'd say exactly what I've just said, completely in a heartbeat. Of course, there's always the minority who do like the London Stadium. This year it certainly warms to fans. Obviously, it was gutting that we couldn't be in there last year when we were doing so well, but we've replicated that form more this season, and the atmosphere is building in there. We've had some fantastic atmospheres in there. Liverpool at home when we beat them, Chelsea at home when we beat them, Leicester at home, second game of the season. The atmosphere in there was incredible. The atmosphere is getting better, but there's still unrest in how the board went about moving. They said that they moved the local dealers, the pie and mash shop and all of this, and they almost stabbed them in the back and just left them, and businesses were left to rot, because match days were their major income. And a lot of West Ham fans will never forgive our current board, Gold, Sullivan and Brady, for moving on from Upton Park in such a way to take us to somewhere that's not our home. I think I speak for most West Ham fans there, and to move from Upton Park to a Olympic Stadium, West Ham fans weren't best pleased, and they still aren't best pleased. Obviously, we've seen the protests over the years, but a certain section of the fan base is certainly warming to it this season, because the atmosphere is getting better. We are slowly getting closer to the pitch, and it is on the up, but we were sold a complete lie when we said we'd have Champions League football, which we got close to, but that was nothing to do with the board. That was to do with David Moyes and his team. But yeah, could I go back to Upton Park in a heartbeat? Of course, and I can guarantee the majority of West Ham fans would say the same.
Very, very interesting. I think Callum would probably agree with me. If Watford suddenly said, right, we're moving away from Vicarage Road to like 10 miles away, nowhere near Watford, I think me and Callum would probably be really annoyed with that as well. So I appreciate that answer, Jake, and that was very, very insightful. Coming back to you, Callum, of course, this is the West Ham Watford preview. Roy Hodgson is our new manager, and he does play in a slightly different way to Claudio Ranieri and Xisco Munoz. Now, obviously, they set up in a 4-3-3 system, very, very attacking. We like to play in the high press, whereas under Roy Hodgson, in this first game we've seen at Burnley, he plays a 4-4-2, very solid, very, very difficult to break down. So, Callum, is that what you'd expect to see from Roy Hodgson when he lines up against West Ham tomorrow? Or potentially, looking at his press conference quotes today, he's still not opposed to playing a 4-3-3 either, is he?
I mean, it's interesting to see what happens, because in his press conference he did allude to the fact that he wouldn't be opposed to just trying the 4-4-2 and instead trying a 4-3-3, which I think would suit us better if we're doing more attacking runs and we play with more attacking assets. But again, a 4-4-2 like he did against Burnley, even though it was a stalemate 0-0 draw, I still think that's what he's used to playing, and I feel like that would really integrate the players, that would integrate his style to the players, and that would fit them really well. But how do I think he'll play against West Ham? To be honest, with Dennis back now from AFCON, and from his suspension, sorry. He did come back from AFCON, but not from his suspension. And Hal Pedro as well, who's looking really exciting. Kamara, who I was really impressed with at Burnley. He is a class left back. So if he can perform like the way he did against Burnley, he was all up and down the left side. His heat map was ridiculous. So if he could play the way he did and get back to top form, I reckon if we keep on going attacking, I would play a 4-3-3 instead of a 4-4-2, because we really need that attacking threat against West Ham if we want to try and score some goals. I'll go with that. Play Dennis up front, play Hal Pedro, and then maybe King on the left wing, or maybe a striker. Maybe move Hal Pedro down to the left wing. So yeah, that's the way I play. But I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks with the box standard 4-4-2.
It's very interesting. I mean, comment from Ballum here, and he says, "Is it too soon for Sarr? Has he been given the day off?" Of course, Ismaila Sarr has just won the African Cup of Nations with Senegal. So, of course, everyone here at the Watford Way and all Watford fans sends our congratulations to Ismaila Sarr and his Senegal teammates for winning AFCON. Really, really good to see. And I think Ismaila Sarr actually scored in I think it was the quarter-final or semi-final as well. So he has contributed. And yeah, great to see a Watford player winning a major tournament, of course. Appreciate everyone in chat as well. Rich is in here, Holly's in here, Balam's in here, Cyber's in here as well. So I appreciate everyone watching the stream today. Really, really is fantastic to see the support on the channel over the past few weeks. Talking about our starting 11 predictions now. Obviously, Jake, we've just done this over on your channel. So before we get into our starting 11 predictions, do you want to quickly tell everyone about your channel and what you do with that?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter at West Ham Unofficial. Do the normal fan channel stuff, previews, reviews, Premier League roundup, talking about the Premier League and mostly West Ham. So all of the matchday coverage, vlogs when we go to games, and just all of the norm for a fan channel. So you can find me at West Ham Unofficial on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Super. So make sure you go and check Jake's channel out. Callum does have his own Instagram page at the Hornets House. Make sure you go and give that a follow. But Jake, coming back to you, starting 11 predictions. We've just done it on your channel. So yeah, how do you think West Ham are going to line up against Watford? Obviously, you mentioned you had a few injury issues. Antonio's been out on international duty as well, so you believe he will be available, but obviously he might not play the full 90 minutes. So how do you think West Ham are going to line up against Watford?
Yeah, I love asking this question, but I really don't like answering it. In goal, we had the discussion just a minute ago. In goal, I think it'll start with Fabianski. Right back will be Soufal. Two centre backs will be Big Craig Dawson and Kurt Zuma, followed by Aaron Creswell at left back. The dream team in the middle of the park of Thomas Souček and Declan Rice. The front four. I think Antonio will start up front. I think he will be chucked straight back in there. On the right will be Jared Bowen. On the left will be Pablo Fornals, and Ben Rama will be sat and in the number 10 role just behind Mikel Antonio. There'll be no Manuel Lanzini, which is a big miss for us. He's got a Achilles injury, which he's been stepping in superbly over the last few weeks with Ben Rama whilst he's been at AFCON.
Quickly, Jake, is that injury to Lanzini quite a serious injury? Because I know sometimes Achilles injuries can lead players to be out for quite a long time.
Yeah, we don't know. David Moyes likes to keep his cards quite close to his chest. We've just heard that he has an Achilles injury and it's not too serious. He's got an injury record in the past. He did his ACL in 2019, which really did batter him up until about 3 months ago, where he seemed to find his best form again. But yeah, hopefully for us, he's not out for too long. But in terms of the game tomorrow, he won't be involved, which is a big miss, because even if he's not playing, he's a good 30-minute impact sub because he makes things happen. So that's disappointing. And one thing I will say about the lineup and what will happen is, if the first team don't do it, we've got nobody to bring off the bench, because we've literally got nobody. Honestly, if the first team don't do it, we're screwed, because we've got Andrei Yarmolenko on the bench, who is not a very good footballer, and that's putting it politely. So if the first team don't do it, well, I think we've got one decent attacker to bring off the bench. So you're all right if the first team don't do it, because we haven't got any good impact subs.
I mean, Callum, that can only mean positive things, right? Coming to you and talk about how you think Watford will line up. Jake just mentioned there, West Ham don't have a lot of squad depth, which to me is very, very positive. So Callum, how do you think Watford are going to line up? Obviously, we've discussed the formation, that's still up for debate, but if you are going to give a starting 11, I'd say do it in a 4-4-2 formation, because that is what Roy Hodgson does. Injury news is quite positive for Watford, isn't it, Callum? I think Ismaila Sarr's obviously coming back from AFCON. He won't be fit for this game. Nkulu's out, Rob Elliott's out, but apart from that, I think Peter Atebo might be available. So, all good news on the injury front, really, Callum.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I've actually kind of contradicted myself, because I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Roy plays a 4-3-3, but on my Instagram page, at the Hornets House, I've just posted a prediction of my lineup, and I've actually put a 4-4-2, as I wouldn't be surprised if Roy goes with that back off Burnley, and my prediction is Ben Foster in goal, Kiko Femenia cemented space at right back. Craig Cathcart and Samir at centre back. The centre back partnership that was played against Burnley. Big Hassan Kamara at left back, a class player, and I think he's going to do really well for us if he continues the form that he's on. Kuka at right mid. Then Kayembe and Sissoko as the two holding mids. Then I've gone with Josh King at left mid. However, I'd actually love to see Samuel Kalu. I actually think he'd be a pretty decent player because I don't know. Did he get any action in the Burnley game? Did he come on at all?
Well, that's it. I mean, because I was obviously out for the Burnley game, so I didn't really get to watch much of it. I don't believe he come on. I think he might have been on the bench, but I don't think he actually made his debut. So I think Samuel Kalu might make his debut against West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Josh King, he's more of a striker, and he's been played more than a striker. I don't know if that's how Roy's going to implement him, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Samuel Kalu. I mean, we signed him for 500 grand, so it'd be great to see if we can put him to use. And then up at striker, we've gone with Hal Pedro at right striker and Emmanuel Dennis at left striker. A combination of pace and power, which I think should hopefully penetrate the West Ham defence pretty well. But again, I mean, if it plays at the 4-3-3, then it's going to be really interesting to see how that squad's rotated. And obviously with Peter Etebo on the resting bench, or he may even be available in that time, he can make an impact, as a really solid defensive asset. So that's my lineup, and all the best to West Ham.
Well, when Ismaila Sarr comes back, Callum, just briefly, if he sets up in that 4-4-2, would Ismaila Sarr play on the right then, I presume, and Samuel Kalu on the left, and then Dennis and Pedro up front? Is that how you'd set up? Because obviously that's quite a lot of attacking talent, and that might leave your midfield exposed if you did that.
That is true, yeah. I mean, with Sarr coming back, I can see him probably going to a 4-3-3 if that's the case, because I can see him utilising Sarr at the right wing spot, then playing Kalu or King. I don't know if really King can play in the left wing spot as well as Kalu, but we haven't really seen much of Kalu yet. So if we can play Kalu at the left mid spot, and then up at striker, I'd probably play Dennis and then Pedro in another attacking spot as well. And then I think we'd have to have a bit of a toss-up between whether Kayembe, Sissoko or Kuka play. And then with the defence, we just keep it the same. So yeah, I think with Sarr coming back, that will definitely add, a bit of a strength and a bit of solidity to our attacking lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how Roy implements it, because after all, he could just go completely out of the blue and not pick either of those formations. So
yeah, exactly. I said to Jake actually on his preview, I don't really have any clue whatsoever what Roy Hodgson's really going to do, because he could really play any tactic. He's such an experienced manager, and I think that's exactly really what we needed at Watford. So it is going to be interesting how we'll set up tactically. But we are coming towards the end of the stream now. So once again, thank you to Callum and Jake and everyone watching for coming onto the stream this evening. We really do appreciate it. It's time to do our score predictions. We'll leave Jake to last because he is the guest, and we'll let him ponder over his prediction. Callum, we'll come to you first. I want a positive prediction from you, Callum. I want you to bring the positive energy to this stream. I went with a 4-0 win on Jake's channel. Are you going to give me the same energy?
Oh, mate, that's Brendan's job. I think for my prediction, if we go full gung ho and we just go attacking, I feel like we can really get a result out of this, and penetrate West Ham defence, who were quite shaky against Kidderminster and also quite shaky against Manchester United, even though I think you did actually deserve a point against Manchester United. Obviously, it was last minute heartbreak, but I'll bring the positive energy. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Watford win. I'm going to go over a Dennis and Hal Pedro goal fest. Well, not goal fest, but two goals. Wow, okay. I'm very, very happy with that. Jake, I presume you're going to predict a Watford win, right?
Yeah, no. I am considering our run of form, and I think our defence will be solidified. Just picking up on what Callum said there. If it's a big if Craig Dawson starts, which is ironic for you Watford fans. If you do see Issa Diop on that team sheet tomorrow, I want all the Watford fans licking their lips because he can't defend, and Kidderminster showed that on Saturday, but if it's Dawson accompanied by Zuma, I think we will be relatively okay defensively. I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win. Somebody mentioned it on my chat, and I thought, yeah, we're not on the best run of form. We can just get this out of the way, get the 3 points, scrappy or not. I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win. Bowen to get the goal because he is on fire.
Very, very interesting stuff. Jake, Callum, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Really appreciate it. You can check out Callum's Instagram page at the Hornets House. And of course, Jake mentioned his West Ham unofficial channel earlier. You can go and check that out on YouTube. Very, very easy to find as well. We retweeted the tweet earlier as well that Jake posted. So make sure you go and check that out too to see my thoughts on the game on his channel. And yeah, please subscribe to The Watford Way. Really do appreciate it. We'll be back after the game, of course, to give our match reaction. And then, you know, the games come thick and fast. We're looking ahead to Brighton on Saturday, and slowly, you know, the games are, you know, they're going thick and fast, and, you know, Watford needs to pick up as many points as possible. So, you know, it's a very, very crucial time of the season, and we'll cover it all here on The Watford Way. So thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and we'll see you very, very shortly for our West Ham match reaction.